Hi, I'm Alice the Fabric Ninja, and today we're making a slipcover for the Happy Baby Carrier. Slipcover, overlay, whatever you want to call it, it creates a completely different look for your carrier, and it also is super useful. It's not just about looks, it's about function and features, because this slipcover is easy to change out. So if you have a blowout or a happy spitter, you'll be able to toss this in the wash, and if you have two, you just toss the next one on your carrier just to make sure nothing happens. Having your carrier able to be used all the time is super important. If you love baby wearing, you know that being without your baby carrier can be awful. And if you have to wash your baby carrier, which you totally can, you need to make sure to give time for it to air dry. And if you have a fussy baby or somewhere where you need to be, you gotta have that carrier available. And slip covers are a great option to be able to just pull them off your carrier when they get dirty and your carrier still has lots of life left in it before it needs its next wash. Adding a pair of suck pads to the straps will also help for that ultimate protection. We all know that straps are absolutely delicious, and babies, well, they're at the perfect height to enjoy those delicious straps. So we need to make sure we protect them if it's something we're worried about. And suck pads are super easy to make. It's a great first project, actually, if you want to make straight ones. But today, we're making a slipcover. Now, other than the functionality of the slipcover, I also just like how they look. It allows you to get a look of a carrier that you don't have. For example, this fabric, there's actually a whole carrier using this fabric. But with a slipcover, you can get this fabric look without actually having to buy another carrier. And bonus, it's reversible. So you get 2 in 1. And I love being able to have those two different looks, particularly when you're using one side for maybe like a Halloween costume or to match the look of a family photo. Then you can make the other side something super fun that you like. For example, Harry Potter. Here we have our Harry Potter fabric. And on the other side, we have this adorable zebra fabric, which actually matches this one really, really well. This would be great for a zoo trip if you're doing a special zoo trip, or maybe for Halloween, you're all dressing as animals and your baby carrier can be covered with zebras. Now, Happy Baby is known for making their carriers out of linen, and you can actually make your slipcover out of linen as well. So you can have a whole rainbow of those wonderful linens. And on the back side of this, I have a canvas city print. This is actually fabric from IKEA. So when I go through the process of creating a pattern, I have a lot of prototypes, and these here are my prototypes. So don't look too closely at these for exactly like where seams are and stuff like that, because they've changed over time. This is the one that's the way the pattern will be when you get it. It is 3 panels, so 2 sides and a center, just like the original carrier. And then we have a headrest section up here. Between the two of them, there is a zipper that allows you to access the original pocket on your carrier so you can get to those hood snaps and you can still use a hood. Now, speaking of hoods, I do want to let you know that I have a hood pattern, actually 2 hood patterns, a flat hood and a hoodie pattern that work with a Happy Baby carrier. So if you want to take your slipcover up one more level and add a hood that matches it, it's a great way to get a full look. Plus, the curved hood or hoodie hood has 3 different piecing options, which are ear ready. So they have seams in the perfect spot to be able to add ears to the hood. And come on, what's more adorable than a little kid wearing ears on a hood? Oh, just wonderful. So if you want to take it one more step, just go to fabricninja.com, go to shop and head down to Happy Baby Carrier, and it will have all the patterns that work for Happy Baby, so you don't have to try to sort through everything. So let's talk about a few more features that are going on with this slipcover. I'm going to use this one here, but remember, there are a few things different on this than there are here, so don't worry yourself about that. One, I wanted to talk about the closure. Here we have snaps that are super easy to see. But this has the exact same snaps. They're just hidden, and you can hide them just as easily. So you have the option on your slipcover to have hidden or exposed snaps. And you can actually, as you see here, use both options on one carrier. Having those snaps hidden really creates a nice clean look, but if it's kind of hard for you to manipulate things, maybe you have a little arthritis or any difficulty with your hands, I suggest snaps that are visible. It will just give you a little bit more to grab onto and to really feel where they are. But it's up to you. And if you don't want to get into doing snaps, you don't want to buy a snap setter, or you can even sew on snaps if you want. You do have the option to stick some Velcro around this edge. Just make sure you set it back from the edge so that none of those rough spots are going to rub you or your baby. Now that's not in the directions, but I know there are so many creative people out there and you're one of them. So feel free to take this pattern and go in whatever direction you want. You can make every section of this a different color. Add ruffles vertically on each of these seams, add a big vinyl print. This is just a starting point. It's a place for you to jump off, and I am sure I'm going to see some amazing Halloween costumes this year, because once you guys have slipcover patterns, wow, I have seen so many amazing things. The Kinderpack slipcovers and the Lilla Baby slipcover patterns that I have, there have been some wonderful costumes created from those, and I'm looking forward to see what you guys come up with too. So on the top here, I mentioned we have a zipper, and you can actually have two different types of zippers. We have an invisible zipper, or we have a zipper that's hidden under a flap, just like your carrier. Now, I personally prefer the invisible zipper just because of how easy it is to put in. Yeah, that's right. Invisible zippers are actually easier than doing it the other way. And that's when you use an invisible zipper foot. They're pretty amazing and worth the $5 to $15 easily, because the zipper goes in perfectly every time. But I got a whole nother video on that. You know, it'll be in a card somewhere. You got the clue. But if you're not into invisible zippers, or you prefer that flap, you do have the option. And these are all using the same pattern pieces, because right at the top of the main body pattern and the headrest pattern, there are different lines that say cut here for regular zipper or cut here for invisible zipper. So you'll know exactly where to cut so that you have the right amount of seam allowance to be able to put your zipper in perfectly. And maybe you find zippers a little bit hard to put in. I totally understand that. If your zipper doesn't go in perfectly, don't worry about it. I've added a little bit of extra height in the cover so that you don't have to worry about getting that zipper in perfectly and then not having enough room if you had a little bit wider seam allowance. Don't worry about it. I left you a little extra room so everything will work out in the end. So you will need the pattern pieces, which is a downloadable PDF you can get on my website or on Etsy. And I know people do not love taping pages together, but there's only 2 sets of pages that you have to tape together. So it's not even worth using a projector or going to a store and getting a large print, because these are the only pages you have to tape together. And in the center, I have these crosshairs, and that means you just overlap them and it's perfectly in the right place. You don't have to worry about cutting the edges of paper and lining them up to the right spot. Just overlap these crosshairs. I use a light table, but you know, my cell phone underneath the pages works well too. It's just enough light to be able to see through. Both of these pattern pieces are cut on the fold. If you're not familiar with cutting on the fold, I also have a video for that. But really, a better way of talking about it would be place on the fold, because we're not cutting the fold, we are leaving that fold. Right here in the center, we have where the opening is for our tag. That is completely optional. If you don't want to have an opening, or you have a vegan carrier without a tag because the tag's leather, you don't have to have that opening. Now I want to make you aware that the tags came in 2 different sizes. in the pattern, it explains everything. So you know exactly what piece you need to select to be able to make this opening right for you. If you want a slipcover to be able to work on 2 different carriers that have different size tags, well, either leave the hole out completely or make the bigger hole and just know it's not going to be a perfect look, but it'll be okay. So as I mentioned, we have the zipper at the top, whatever style you chose, and then on the sides, there are snaps. And this is where the shoulder strap goes up and the side strap goes out. And on this one, I made both of them hidden so that it's just the cleanest look possible. Working our way down the carrier, we have our curved sides that match the carrier perfectly. And then at the bottom, we have an opening for the waist straps to come out. And the very bottom is also open. I've added a snap on this one. It's completely optional, but this opening just makes it easier to get your carrier in there and everything worked out. But you can actually get the carrier in through this opening. It's just a little bit harder. So if you really want to sew this up, go ahead. I also like having this opening because it allows me to get to the cinching at the bottom of the carrier. So if I need to adjust it, I don't have to take the whole cover off. I can just open it up, stick my hand down, and do any adjustment I need to. Now, seeing that we're talking about cinching, when the carrier is smaller, the slipcover is going to be a little bit big, but it's super easy to fix. One, you can just leave it and your babe's legs will naturally just pull it in. This is very soft fabric, so it's not going to cause any problem for their legs. Alternately, when you have it on the carrier, you can just take a little fold and a little fold so it matches whatever cinch you've done, and then it works perfectly. So as I said, this snap here is optional, and it's optional because the Happy Baby is an apron style carrier. So this will go along your body, your waist, not your chest, obviously, and then this folds up. So this part of it is always going to be one side of it against your body and the other side with your child. So you don't really have to worry about this moving and being crazy. But I always like you having the option, if you want, to make it a little bit more stable. So whether you do a linen, a canvas, or Harry Potter fabric, I am sure you have something in your stash just waiting to become a slipcover. And if not, you know where to find fabric. I look forward to seeing what you make. Make sure to join me over at the Fabric Ninja Sewing Circle, which is a group on Facebook that you can join and show me what you make. We also offer support if you have any questions. We're always there to help. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Alice, the Fabric Ninja. If you like this video, you know what to do. Happy sewing.